where you're going to get all facts, no fake, no phony, and no fluffed up information when it comes to what's going on in politics today. And if you're interested in getting that information on a daily basis, well, you made it to the right channel. All you need to do for yourself now is subscribe. Click that bell notification so you can get the latest and greatest information coming from Mostly Money, because we're going to be here for you and your loved ones. Let's get started. Yes, when it comes to Bernie Sanders and Senator Joe Manchin, we know that there is bad blood in the air. That's why we haven't been able to get this infrastructure stimulus bill taken care of months ago. We've been talking about these programs for the last 6 months. The president had been talking about it since the beginning of his administration with the Build Back Better plan, and yet it has not unfolded the way that they had planned. And one of the reasons why, we have Senator Joe Manchin, as we all well know, we're tired of hearing about him in regards to holding up the infrastructure bill because he has a hidden agenda.
We finally have a little bit more insight into what Senator Joe Manchin wants in the reconciliation bill. Basically nothing, or at the very least he'd be satisfied with nothing. And that's not just me reading his behavior, his whole total vibe and all that. This is what he is saying to other senators. So he and Bernie Sanders apparently squabbled behind closed doors on Wednesday, with Manchin using a raised fist goose egg to tell his colleague he can live without any of President Biden's social spending plan. Yeah, he is comfortable with zero. He doesn't need it. He is literally a millionaire, Nina Turner.
I mean, he is set for the rest of his natural life. And so are his children, and most likely his children's children and children's children. So he could have, this is just fragrant indifference, just straight out indifference to the suffering of people in this country, and even especially in his own district. As you know, the state of West Virginia is the sixth poorest state in the United States of America. Lots of poverty there, struggle. We know at one point the coal miners were striking. They may still be striking right now, but a lot of needs are there. So he can just have this cavalier attitude about the social programs that the president is trying to push, because there's no skin off his nose, so to speak.
Now, as they were saying, West Virginia, the sixth poorest state in the country, the state that needs so much help and so much assistance, and yet even when Joe Manchin was governor, he did very little to help out with the economy and cause them to turn around.
Yeah. Although we should point out, with Manchin, he has a special added layer of corruption. I mean, the vast majority of them are corrupted by their never-ending quest for more and more campaign finance donations. But for Manchin, he's literally making money off of coal himself. It's amazing. And so I'm glad that we're focusing on his zero, but we should also focus on the 6 zeros you'd need to get to the millions of dollars that he's personally earned from his own coal company. And while there has been some intermittent reporting of that obvious, that's fundamental conflict of interest. I was doing reading for this story where they were talking in particular about, for instance, the $150 billion to incentivize power plants to switch from fossil fuels to clean energy. And most of them, the vast majority of them, talked about, well, you can't get it because Manchin's not in favor of it. They never said coal company owner Joe Manchin would prefer if we keep burning coal. It's the most obvious corruption imaginable, but it doesn't really hurt him, because what percentage of his constituents do you think know that that's why we're not going to have it, know that he owns that?
Now, as I mentioned before, a lot of people don't understand the real reason why Joe Manchin has been so adamant about not signing or supporting the infrastructure stimulus bill to get trillions of dollars out to you and your family. What it is, first of all, is that he is getting paid by the lobbyists. So therefore, the corporations own him. He considered those campaign donations and the money that he's going to be receiving after retiring from being a senator. Well, that is money that is par for the course. So he's expecting that money, those millions of dollars that's going to be lining his pockets over the next couple of years, to be there. Also, his coal mining business, as I mentioned before, he makes millions of dollars when it comes to America staying the way it is when it comes to how we use coal here in this country. He does not see the value in changing, and he has the power right now to keep that from happening.
Actually, this is what conservatives, whether it's a conservative Democrat or it's a conservative Republican, hold over progressives and other Democrats who actually care and independents who actually care every single time, which is, oh, we could also do nothing. How about that? How about everyone dies and starves instead of just a few people? And so then progressives are sort of crawling back to the table, and the negotiating table, like Bernie Sanders, is he can't walk away, right? Because Sanders actually has a moral compass, right? And he's one of the few senators holding it. It's very shaky. You know, everyone wants to pry your soul from your hand in the Senate, and it's hard, or super easy if you just don't take a bunch of corporate money and have actual principles.
With the infrastructure bill, they're not only in negotiations when it comes to the budget, because it looks like it's going down from a $3.5 trillion to a maybe $1.9 trillion American family plan that could help a lot of families, as well as extra stimulus money. They're not only negotiating that, but they're also negotiating what's going into the bill and what's not going into the bills.
True, and just follow the money. I mean, not only follow the money in the budget to see where priorities are, but follow the money, the trails and trails of money that lead to these elected officials. It is absolutely legal in the United States of America to bribe politicians. You got to do it a certain way, John, as you laid out. One way gets you put in jail, but the other way, let's go overseas and raise money across the waters and not deal with the policies that need to be dealt with. Senator Sinema, let's have fundraisers and wine caves, and multi extra wealthy people can just pour money and have their will done, even if the overwhelming majority of the American people who are siding right now with both the hard infrastructure and the soft infrastructure plans. But that is not going to be the reality because the donors do not agree. And this conversation is certainly reminding me of something that Mother Jones once said when she visited somebody in jail, and she asked the man, what was he in jail for? And he said, I stole a pair of shoes. She said, if you had stolen a railroad, you'd be a senator.
Yeah.
That is the reality today.
People have an idea of our current best understanding of what might be in and out of it. So I'm going to list all these things, and I want to hear your reactions. So originally, there was going to be 12 weeks paid family and medical leave, which would be by no means any sort of international record. But don't get excited. It's gone. It's down to 4. So 4, if you get, horrifically ill, if you have a child, you better get that bonding in that 1 month, because that's all you get. A 1-year extension of the child tax credit. Isn't that nice of them? It's incredibly popular, cuts childhood poverty. They're going to give it to you for 1 more year. They will do universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds. I hope that they get very well educated during those 2 years, because the free community college is out. They're not going to do that. But don't worry, they are going to be making it a little bit more affordable. So if you're a low-income student, instead of about, I think, $6,000 a year in Pell Grants that you could have gotten, you can get $500 more. So I don't know what you're worried about, like, paying for college for. They're going to give you $500 more. And Bernie Sanders wanted to have dental and vision coverage added to Medicare. They're not going to do that, but they are going to give you an $800 voucher for dental. So that's nice. You know it's good because it's a voucher. And the Clean Electricity Program, one of the largest single components to deal with the climate crisis, is likely out, very specifically because Joe Manchin owns the coal company. I will never get tired of saying that. I hope that you never get tired of hearing it. And that is currently what it looks like.
In our next video, we're not going to only talk about what programs are available. We're also going to talk about stateside stimulus money that's still being given away. Also, we're going to talk about who's going to be the winner of this week's $50 stimulus giveaway. So make sure that you email me at the email address below so we can make sure that you get into the contest for tomorrow. So you get the latest and greatest information coming from Mostly Money, because we're going to always be here for you and your loved ones. I'll see you guys in the comment section like I always do. And if I don't get a chance to speak to you and you don't get a chance to speak to me, we are not going to fret about it, because I'll be speaking to you again. Mañana.